it is that, we've heard that saying, the fortune's in the follow-up or the follow-through. In sales, when you don't follow up or follow through with a lead, nothing happens. And it is the same as when I just keep a journal. I'm looking around going, I know there's one close, but a journal, and I would just write whatever I thought God was saying, or Holy Spirit, or higher wisdom, whatever I thought, even though I didn't know. And I would just follow through in faith and trust that what I was hearing was right. And even if I messed it up, I had a pure heart, at least. And I tell you, it was just amazing to see things explode. And that's why I'm so confident for other people, because I know how it works and I know what's available, but it takes surrender. Yeah.
Welcome to Inspired Choice today. I'm your host, Caroline Biesalski, here to bring you authentic stories, surprising lessons, and powerful takeaways to fuel your journey in business and life. In each episode, I'll take you from one inspiring guest to the next, blending their experiences with my expertise to uncover practical strategies you can use right away. Whether you're starting out or stepping up, stay tuned for insights and actionable tips that make a difference. And stick around until the end for a special freebie just for our listeners. Hello and welcome, Inspired Podcast community. This is your new episode. My name is Caroline and my today's guest is Coffey, and I'm so happy that she said yes to our interview. How are you doing today?
I'm amazing. Really good to be here, Caroline. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And I would love to introduce you to the audience, of course. So you are a two-time Inc. 500 award recipient. You overcame incredible odds rising from homelessness as a single mother to owning 2 multi-million-dollar companies. You now inspire others to achieve their dreams, proving that success is possible for anyone willing to put in the work. Welcome to the Inspired Podcast, Karen Coffey.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Thank you so much. And my first question is, what mindset shifts helped you go from homelessness to owning multi-million-dollar companies?
We can call it mindset, or we can actually call it what it was. And for me, I was at the bottom of the barrel, as many of us have been in our lives, where there's no place to go but on your knees because you have been beat by life. And I was the one that was beat up by life. And everything that I had tried, everything that I had moved to accomplish, nothing worked. Becoming homeless, losing my home, my car, my husband, my mom, my son went to live with his dad. I mean, it was just a train wreck. And when you get to that point in life, it's called, I give up, I surrender. So if there was a mindset, which I wouldn't call it that, but it is surrendering to our own thinking we know best and that we know how to get out of the challenges that life has brought us, whether it's illness, whether it's finances, bankruptcy. And so when I got on my knees, I'm just going to tell you, it was, I know you talk about intuition, I talk about faith, I talk about God, I believe in the universe and all of those things. But for me, it was, I cried out to a God I didn't even believe in. And I really got just this, I'm so sorry. My phone is going off. Stop it. Oh my gosh, let me just turn it on to airplane mode.
God is calling us, and because he knows that we are talking about
That's right. Let me see if it was him.
Yes, I'm sure.
But it was amazing that in that time of my life that I stopped crying out and begging for answers, and I just stopped and I listened. And so you can call it intuition, you can call it Holy Spirit, you can call it anything you want. But what I got that day was the beginning of a trajectory where all I would do is ask for one thing per day. Just give me one thing to move forward. And because I'm at the bottom of the barrel, and I promise you I will do it because I got nothing left. I had no ego. I had um, you know, I cannot believe that that is still dinging. I have it on airplane mode. And I don't know that I know how to stop that.
I love it. I love it.
I don't love it.
Don't get confused by it's totally okay. This is the authentic inspired podcast.
Life. It is life. So, yeah, and it was every day I would just listen for that one thing. And I think for me, I wasn't much of a listener. I'm a talker. I learned as a child, you need to pray. You need to, and this was nothing about that. It was, praying that I was at the rock bottom, and I am willing to listen to something, a higher wisdom than what I could bring through. And so at the end of a year, I had 365 steps to creating a life that I wanted. And it was in partnership. I call it spirit-led. Spirit-led business is what we actually call it. And it's amazing. It's just amazing, the results that we see.
Wow, I love what you just shared. So you asked for one thing, then the answer came, and all you had to do was listening. And of course, after that, applying or implement. It is the technical language, but I know you said mindset is not the right word, so I would change it to change. So it is what changes did you do or did you accept? Because it's all about accepting the idea first. You cannot with a closed mindset. There we are again. You are not able to be open to the changes that are presented right in front of you. Thank you so much. It was God talking.
I know. Just put me in a straitjacket and a padded cell, right? God's talking, Karen, really? And it's like, we were created. We were created by a creator so that we could have this communication and hear. And so it's just my mission now that other people hear that same guidance, that same wisdom in their business, in their, we certified coaches, and we teach them this methodology of how to hear for other people. Because it's not about us anymore, Caroline. I mean, really, it's not about us. We have kind of messed up this world a little bit where we're at today. And so I think we could all use a little bit of a higher wisdom and guidance.
I found it very interesting when you said earlier about what you had to let go, so to say, so everything fell apart, and also you talked about your ego. And I love that so much because it is overlooked. I think it's the greatest gift one can have, because I came across this quote that said something like, you have to die before you die. Something like that.
I think you have to die before you live. That's what I'm not saying that was the quote that you read, but in my experience, I've had multiple deaths in my life, and I don't mean physical. It's reinvention. It's restoring you back to alignment where you're not the center and you're not in this mode of greed and money and hey, I'm all about money and finances. We do really, really well. So, but we can't strive for that. We can't make that the main focus. We really do have to care about other people and care about the transformation that they're going through, and not just ourselves. So for me, I was full of ego. I had great success in selling real estate, residential homes here in America. And, that is an ego-filled career. All the other people around you are they're better than you, and they're going to let you know that they're better than you. And it was just, and I was on that train. And I'm so glad that I got off of it. I didn't like how I got off of it because, like I said, I lost everything I owned. And that I don't believe that God causes, or this higher wisdom causes these things. But I do believe he takes all of this just junk and makes it all work out for good.
Wow, I love what you shared. Yes, this, of course, I could think about it now for the rest of my day. I just want to mention when you talked about real estate and the, let's say, the competition in that field, I thought about, I came across this TV show that I really love watching from the outside. It's Selling Sunset.
Oh,
And
yes.
I think
Little
watching
bit
from
of ego there.
so you were in that
Yeah.
industry.
Yes, before we got into coaching, and I really didn't want to get into coaching. That was not my plan. I just had success, and people started asking me, "Hey, like if you have success, people come to you and they're like, "Hey, how'd you do that? Would you mind sharing?" And so I started sharing with people, and all of a sudden, it just took off. Yeah, it just really took off. So
Yeah, we would say success attracts success, right?
yes, it does. Yep.
Okay, my next question for you. What advice do you have for others facing overwhelming obstacles on their path to success?
Whew, man. Stop doing what everybody else is doing. We just have so much inundation, right? Everything's coming at us. Do it this way. Here's the 5 steps. Here's the 21. Here, hold your head this way. And, it's just all of these things. You are an individual. You are authentic to you. And when I began to move out of this copycat mentality of, I'm going to just follow this guru because they're having great success, I'm going to follow that guru, and just becoming who God intended you to be. You have God-given gifts and skills, and you're trying to get to success on someone else's path, which obviously works on some level. But in what we're really creating is this ability to get in alignment with what's God's strategies. If I could be so bold to say, God has every answer to every challenge in your life, every obstacle in your business, every obstacle in your family or your marriage and your finances. Why are we not going to him to find out how to get out of the pit around these things? So my advice would be, let's stop trying to run our lives on the limited knowledge that we know. And let's connect with a source that knows exactly how to take you from point A to B to C. The challenge is, Caroline, is that people want A to Z. I want the full blueprint. I want the full plan. And that's not the way it works, because there's an element of faith and trust that I will take the one thing and I will do that one thing, not knowing what's next and not knowing the outcome of that. And then taking the next step and the next step and the next step. And for us, it ended up those small, and I say us, it was just me. My dog, I don't know. It was just me at the time. But that one thing led to when I began to align with coaching and helping other women and men really lift their sales and success, that the first month was 30,000. The second month was 60. The third month was 90. The first year, it didn't keep doubling or adding like that, but the first year was 1.2. The second year was 2.4, and on and on and on till the sixth year was at 6 million. And that's when we won the Inc. 500. The fifth and sixth year. Exactly. So now we're shifting gears and launching spirit-led coach certification so that people can do this for other people. I just want to see this all over the world. I want to see it all over the world.
You just gave me an idea, because before you know what I'm going to say, right? Before we started recording, I asked you how I pronounced this Inc. 500, and you gave me the idea. Now I know what's what's your story, and I would assume that if you can do it, I can do it too. So when I set my mind to that goal, because I told you I also have an Inc. I created it, so so I can do this too, right?
Yes, absolutely. But we don't do it of our own accord. We don't do it with our own. There is something that is so precious about just having that time every day. We suggest 15 minutes of just really remembering, going into prayer and meditation, connecting with the source and higher wisdom greater than we are. And yeah, we can do it, but not of our own volition, and that's the hard part for us humans, is that we want the 5-step plan. And yes, there is one when it comes to marketing, but sometimes we have to create a very solid foundation first. So I love that, Caroline. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much for encouraging me. This is why I do this podcast.
That's right.
A lot of inspiration from all my beautiful guests, and what you said about we have to be courageous to take the first step, because the second only shows up when we make the first move. The path shows up, right? And I wanted to add that I think, in addition to what you said, is that there are as many paths as there are human beings.
That's right. Absolutely. There's not just one way, that there is. We are so unique, and what your spirit was given and is looking to accomplish and express in this lifetime is not mine, and so on and so forth. So we have such a collective of people that are so different and all feeling called. And, it gets kind of woo-woo sometimes when people, what are you called to do? But it's the truth. You didn't come here by accident. The things that you've been through, the traumas that you've overcome, the successes you've had, they're all for meaning and all for reason. And so how do we help humanity? How do we help others and have an amazing income at the same time? And it's okay, by the way, to make money. It is okay. We don't have to be afraid of that. Because I certainly was for years.
It is. Money is energy. I learned this. There are several books about this. And of course, we can also learn about blocked energy, like diseases or whatever it is. It's a closed mindset, or also, let's say, conditioning, a paradigm, false beliefs, because we are for fuller expansion and expression. I always confuse with the two words.
Yes.
Life is about fuller expression and expansion, whatever.
So that we can expand. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Thank you so much. I have another question, of course. How did earning the Inc. 500 award impact your business journey, and what did it mean to you personally?
Right. Oh, gosh, that's such a great question, because I was not the most self-confident person, believe it or not. I just was not that confident of a person. And I felt like I was always trying to prove myself, and from my childhood wounds, and we won't get into all of that. But, there's this outer striving that many of us, myself included, I wanted to strive and win and get the award and say, this is who I am. So that allowed me to do that. And it also allowed me to look at the truth, that it did not change who I was at the core, that I was still insecure or, just feeling incompetent. Can you believe you're one of the fastest growing companies in America, and they verify everything, your bank accounts, your client load, everything. So, and it didn't change the fact that I needed to work on myself. And so I think you guys can, you can tell I'm a woman of faith, and I did not really hold on to a faith because I didn't feel like the church had done me any good all of my life. I was like, yeah, no thanks. And when I became homeless, obviously I said, I got on my knees and I did that one thing every day. And then the business started creating, and I got this award, and then I got the next award. And I realized that it was my journey of faith, prayer, listening. Yes, I even went back to things that people don't even want to talk about anymore. And that was the Bible for me. And it was like, I still don't understand this, but I'm going to take the word of what it says, and I'm going to just implement it in my life. And that is what changed everything and allowed the awards to happen in the first place. I truly believe that, because I was no longer wanting to be in charge. That bumper sticker, Caroline, that used to say, God is my co-pilot. And I'm like, no, God's my pilot. I'll be the co-pilot. I'm the one in the back seat. You tell me where to go and I'll go. So that is just the impact that the Inc. 500, but I know where it came from. It is that, we've heard that saying, the fortune's in the follow-up or the follow-through. In sales, when you don't follow up or follow through with a lead, nothing happens. And it is the same as when I just keep a journal. I'm looking around going, I know there's one close, but a journal, and I would just write whatever I thought God was saying, or Holy Spirit, or higher wisdom, whatever I thought, even though I didn't know. And I would just follow through in faith and trust that what I was hearing was right. And even if I messed it up, I had a pure heart, at least. And I tell you, it was just amazing to see things explode. And that's why I'm so confident for other people, because I know how it works and I know what's available, but it takes surrender. Yeah. I went on a tangent.
Thank you so much for sharing. Yes, I love journaling too. And you mentioned already things like prayer, meditation, going inward, listen to your inner voice. And I think you mentioned in the beginning that it doesn't take much time. Like I think you mentioned 15 minutes per day. I'm not sure about that. Can you tell us how you can differentiate, or how can you know that the inner voice you hear is not is God's voice, it's God's voice, it's the right one, because you have different voices. I mean,
you don't go to the wrong one. So it's 15 minutes a day. So this is not like the Eastern religions of emptying your mind. This is not about going into a place of quiet and emptying the mind and going, oh gosh, my to-do list has come back and I need to, I'm not good at this. This is simply because you were created to have this communication. It is simply recognizing and knowing that this is your right. This is who you are and what you're created to be. And just sitting down and asking. Now, for me, my prayer goes something like, Father, I just ask that you would lift me up. In other words, lift me up out of all this chaos and lift me up that I might be surrounded with love and clarity and wisdom, and that you would speak loudly and that I would hear clearly. And really, it's that simple. And trusting that I don't have to say a long, drawn out prayer. I don't have to sit for an hour and empty my mind. That there is a God that created, or a creator that created you, that higher wisdom, that universe that created, that wants to commune with you. So once you say that prayer, perhaps it is, what are you might have something on your mind, Caroline, about, I don't know, some marketing thing or relationship. And the first easiest thing to do is ask, what are the lies I'm believing about this? So we all tend to lean towards listening to this inner critic. And that's a lie. That is not the truth of the situation, even though it may seem like it is, the negative spin of it. So what lie am I believing about this situation? I owe the IRS, whatever, our taxes. I owe, let's say, $30,000 in taxes. What is the lie that I'm believing about this? Now, for me, it might be something like that I'll never be able to pay it off, that the penalties are too much. I don't have $30,000 to give them right now. It's up to me to come up and work to make that money. And then I'll turn it around and I'll say, okay, higher wisdom, God, Holy Spirit, whatever you guys want to call it, what's the truth about this? The truth is, and it's an impression, it's strong thought. Sometimes it's a vision, it's a blip like in your mind's eye, and it's so fast you almost miss it. Again, for me, it was strong thought and impression that I knew it wasn't my thoughts. My thoughts tend to be a little spinny, if that makes sense. That they're like a little chaotic. They're like, oh, and we got to do this, and oh, and then, oh, yeah, and then, and it's just like the spin. When you hear this, or sense, or feel, or see, And I say here, it's not an audible voice. It is that strong impression thought in your mind. When you sense that and you're looking for the nuance, because it's not very often that it's loud and booming. I mean, sometimes it can happen, yes, but it's just this nuance of, you know what? I'm in charge of your finances. I've got you. It's this place of peace. It's a voice of peace in the chaos of our own thoughts and our own minds. If anything comes in that is worrisome or negative, it is not of God, and it is not for us to take. Sometimes we may say, I just need just clear my mind of anything negative, anything that's, not for my greatest good. And then listen, and then write those things that are of peace, that feel in alignment with a God that loves you and wants the best for you. So that was a long answer, but that is exactly really how you can feel that God is speaking, or higher wisdom is speaking with you.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing. Now I have clarity. I always wanted to know this. It's the inner voice, and it is a quiet voice, and it is a peaceful voice as well.
Yes.
So that way we can differentiate. I will pay more attention to that in my next days. Thank you so much. I have one last question for you. It is about your goals. Do you set goals for yourself or intentions? And what is one of your next projects?
Yeah. So, there's a scripture that says that he wants to give us the desires of our heart. So I do have goals. I do have desires of my heart. And it also says that he places the desires in our heart. And we think, oh, it's too much to take my family to Italy for a month, or it's too much to buy this extravagant home. He creates the desires within our own hearts, and then he knows the way to create them. So for me, right now we have in the process, the next book is called Spirit-Led Business, a movement of God in the marketplace. So that book I'm writing it right now. So it's not in press. You can't buy it anywhere, unfortunately. We have an amazing community that, Caroline, if anybody, it's a $500 a year community, but I wanted to give it to your listeners for free. You can come in, and what it is just a live call every Tuesday. And we all practice listening to get this higher wisdom. And so if you go, oh gosh, I don't need to give the website. I just wanted to give it as a gift. But I can do that if that's okay with you, but you let me know. And so we have that. And then we do a 6-month coach certification program, where we're working with individuals for 6 months. It's 2 months of certification in the spirit-led methodology, whether it's like, health and wellness or business coaching, finance, addiction coaching, anything like that. And then 4 months of launching them out into the world so that this is about, it's okay to make money. I want people to be successful. And so I teach how not the methodology of hearing and coaching other people to success, but also how to get them successfully out into the world so they can get their own Inc. 500.
Wow. I love
We're busy.
I love that. Thank you so much. It's so generous to invite us, the Inspired Choice Today podcast community, to your meetings. Of course, you can share the website, or I put it in the show notes. Of course, we are connected. Please reach out to Karen. She's amazing. Thank you for our interview. And now it's time for your final thoughts to the audience.
Oh, so, wherever you are on your path, there is just greater expansion. It's like expanding those tent pegs. Like Caroline was saying, it's about expression and expansion. And if there's anything that I could leave you with, it is surrender and learn how to hear, feel, see, and know. This is our invitation. This is our right. That website is spiritledbusiness.org. And it is a $500 a year, but your promo code, it's free to all your listeners. So just put in the promo code SLB, like Spirit Led Business, SLB 2024. and it will take you right through. You'll pass the cart and everything, and then you'll be in our community. And we have what we call our spirit-led board of directors, and you come to that call, you have a challenge, and we're all connecting and hearing what God has to say and where he wants to guide you. And it's mainly obviously business, because I'm supercharged about people, entrepreneurs and individuals being very successful in business. So Caroline, thank you so much for letting me. And I look forward to seeing any of your listeners there. We'll give you a warm welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. We will all join, of course. Let's do this. Yeah, of course. Let's flute. It's about abundance, right? Abundance.
Yes.
Thank you so much for our interview. I'm blessed now. Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
And see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to Inspired Choice today. I'm thrilled to have you on this journey of growth and transformation. Don't forget to hit follow or subscribe to stay connected and never miss an episode. And here's something special. Grab your free 20-minute breakthrough session with me. It's designed to help you kickstart or level up your business. Just check out the show notes for more. Until next time, keep making those inspired choices. See you in the next episode.